Hi, I'm Kelly Greaves, one of the filmmakers of Sin. In our opening establishing shot, we show Grace manically running past the hospital. Her costume and coloured hair add to the craziness of Grace's character. This allows the audience to understand her personality and how her life was before. We then cut to Grace running. We film this with a shaky cam and followed her behind to create the illusion as though the audience are actually there. We then cut to see Ryan walking out of the gym, and at this point we pan down with the camera to create a smooth transition from the previous shot, and whilst doing this it creates a perfect base for the new establishing shot of the high street. We then quickly cut to Ryan and then back to a long shot of Grace stumbling, and as she walks past the camera we cut straight back to Ryan to show their first meet. On their first meet, we have a medium shot so we can see both Ryan and Grace bump into one another, and this is where we smoothly cut using graphic match them falling on the bed on their wedding night. In this scene we slightly tilted the camera downwards. This creates a very loving atmosphere as we look at them holding hands. We use gentle soothing music to show the audience that they are in love, and the soft piano tones help create this peaceful and loving scene. We then inserted a black screen to show that time had passed, so the audience would see the time difference of the two shots. We then changed to a new establishing shot of the gym and have a walk-in shot of Ryan in the locker room. We used the long shot to show Ryan getting his sandwich out of his bag, and shot a medium close-up of the poison dropping out of the sandwich. We used the camera to focus pull the close-up of Ryan and the sandwich, so the audience could firstly see the sandwich and then Ryan's disturbed and confused reaction. After this we cut to a medium shot of a glass of water and the aspirin dropping to communicate to the audience that Ryan is feeling unwell. We used a mysterious piece of music with a strong emphasis on a beat to create almost a time factor which seems to pick up the pace of the scenes and help it flow together. We then quickly cut to a new scene of Ryan going to sleep. We filmed this on the side of the bed to give the effect that we are there watching him. We changed the angle of the camera to Grace walking in with a pillow and then cutting back to Ryan in bed, whilst the medium close-up of Grace shows her raising her knife and then cutting back to Ryan tossing and turning. Whilst Grace rises her knife higher and finally getting to a medium shot of the knife hitting down. We then cut to a new establishing shot of Grace in the conservatory. Grace walks out of the dark into the light of the kitchen to symbolise that she's walking out of the dark so she no longer has any sins. The medium shot of Grace talking to Ryan shows her compassion as she asks nicely if he wants something to eat. We then cut to a medium shot of the couple eating dinner, so the audience can see both their reactions and Ryan's face as he holds back being sick to run to the bathroom. We then cut to the bathroom where the lighting is bright to show the conflict of light and darkness, good and bad. We placed the camera on the top of the toilet so we could tilt down to Ryan being sick, so it gives off the impression that the audience are looking down on him for his behaviour. We then force the fate of fantasy and reality as Grace comforts Ryan in reality, but in fantasy we see what Ryan's thinking in black and white. These series of clips allow the audience to really delve into the storyline. We then cut to a long shot of Grace and Ryan eating in the kitchen. This shows Grace trying to communicate with Ryan by asking him if he wants anything from the shop. After Grace leaves, Ryan goes to the bathroom where he runs a bath. We pan the camera to the right to follow him as he goes. We rested the camera on the side of the bathtub to get a straight shot of Ryan getting in the bath. We then shot a medium close-up of Ryan emerging into the water. As he blows the bubble underwater, we wanted to create the effect of though he's thinking. As this happens, the piece of music we chose starts to play. We used a Gregorian chant as it's religious, strong and powerful and perfect for the audience to understand that these are very important scenes. We then cut to a shot of Ryan imitating hanging on a cross, as if he's on trial for his sins, by resembling Jesus. We then let the audience see that it was in fact Ryan who poisons his sandwich and not Grace. We sped up Ryan's scenes on the cross to show Ryan's intensity and to make the audience feel power as he twists and turns his head. We then cut back to Ryan in the bath and carry this on later to show the audience that he's just realising what he's been doing. After this shot, we have Ryan's flashback of him trying to suffocate himself. We slowed this down to be its most powerful, so the audience would realise what's actually happened. Having several quick cuts back and forth allows the audience to get snippets of Ryan's reaction in the bath and get the flashbacks as well. We then sped up Ryan rushing to the kitchen. The fast-paced moves of the camera create urgency to the audience and makes them feel like they are invading on this personal moment. As he knocks the pills down from the cupboard, we tilt the camera down to follow Ryan manically moving his pills. As this happens, we pull our attention back to Grace walking in. The sound here is a loud, sinister echo. This helps build intensity for Grace's reaction. After hearing Grace scream, we shoot straight back to give the viewers the last impression of him. We then have Gracie's shopping bag dropping, and we use slow motion for this to create dramatic effect. We follow the apple rolling on the floor to show symbolism of a sin referring to Adam and Eve. With a quick cut back to Ryan hanging for the last time, we cut straight into titles, using a traditional scripted style font as this flows well with the religious scene. We then end with sinister music with intense beat for impact as our names scroll up on a black screen, as it's simplistic and extremely effective for the psychological thriller genre. This is an image of one of our ancillary tasks, a film review. We made this in Quark for our short Sin. We used magazine conventions for this to reflect similar conventions seen in real products. We created advertisements for other films and shorts, including Death of the Pumpkin, and made a star rating for new releases. After researching online and in print for film reviews, we found that we really liked the style of Empire's magazine and decided to reflect a similar layout in our review. This creates a professional appeal, and having bold quotes, simplistic bright colours and a clear layout really attracts the eye. I am very happy with this product, as I feel that it has great corporate branding and doesn't give too much away about the film, which entices the viewer. Therefore, I feel it would have a good chance at competing against others of its kind in today's market. Here shows our second ancillary task, our movie poster for Sin. The dark, simplistic colours reflect one of the main conventions of real products of its kind. The contrast with black and white helps show the ongoing battle of good and bad, whilst the rosemary beads reflect the religious elements to our short. The enlarged faded image of the apple in the background helps create great symbolism of Adam and Eve and their sins, whilst at the same time helps with our corporate branding of the apple that resembles sins. Ryan and Grace are shown as separate images to show just how close they are, but in completely different worlds. The actors' names of Ryan and Grace and our production details at the bottom help create that professional feel. Overall, I feel that we achieved everything we wanted to with our movie poster, and that it really challenges and uses conventions of the psychological thriller genre.